In this video, we talk to you about max training for sports performance, strength and conditioning, max strength, ballistic style training, how to mix the two, and the main mistake that most athletes are making. So the first things first is understanding what the point of strength and conditioning training is. Firstly, as an athlete, what you want to do is return from play from an injury, or you want to increase performance and get better on the pitch to reach your goals. But it's important to understand how strength training works so you can buy into it and that you get the results that you desire. If you don't do this, you don't understand why you're doing it, you'll never buy into it and never look at it on a long-term effect. So some of the key elements, there's usually two different styles of athletes. There's one who comes in, who tries to lift as much as possible in the gym, moves slow, gets stronger, but then can't get the carryover onto the pitch. Then there's the other who does pure ballistic style training, fast, loads and loads of cleans, but they don't quite get onto the pitch, they don't quite recover from training in enough time, and they don't get as much performance in because the body isn't strong enough to actually handle the performance and recovery and hold down the likelihood of injury. So there's two different types of athletes who are actually doing strength and conditioning training. Using research, we're going to explain in this video really quickly over the next 4 minutes on how the research applies and how you should train correctly. So first scenario is, let's look at this diagram. On the left hand side is the amount of force that's being applied. This green little box is someone's counter movement jump, and this is what they were measuring. The group who was most successful on improving their counter movement jump was the explosive ballistic style training group. However, the research that is coming out is that you need to do a contrast training, which means that within your heavy squats, your bench, your deadlifts, you then need to do some kind of ballistic movement with it. Or else you learn how to do weightlifting, so snatch or para cleans or cleans or para jerks or push presses correctly to get the carryover onto the pitch. But a key in that element is that you need to be strong enough to be able to move with that barbell first. So without confusing you too much, let's look at the research so that you can enjoy it and buy into your strength and conditioning program. So first things first is we have an untrained group. Their explosive counter movement jump did not improve. That's the black line there, but their max strength stayed roughly the same. So over time, they got to here, this level, this is what the counter movement jump was, and then they just level off. This max strength line is as we go up. So the max strength, they didn't improve. That was their standardized approach. Then here, dotted line, this purple dotted line going up, this was the ballistic style training group. These got stronger over time by doing just pure plyometrics training, jumps, ballistic style training, powerful movements, fast movements. They were improving what's called your anthropometric phase, which I hope I pronounced correctly. What this is that it's the amount of time that when you accept the jump, when you go down into your descent of the eccentric to then the concentric powerful phase. The amount of time, their reactive time. So say for a sprinter, the amount of time that they're spending on the ground, that triple extension, ankle, knee, hip, to then propel themselves further forward and faster. By doing that explosive plyometric style training, you do get a little bit stronger, but a key element, a red flag, is that you want to make sure that you're doing strength training to handle, for your body to be able to handle this load. Usually it's 200 ground contacts that you want when you're doing this plyometric sessions, but you need to make sure that your body, your ligaments, your tendons are strong enough. One of the elements that we do find with athletes who are quite naturally powerful is that their ligaments and tendons aren't strong enough, and the connective tissue isn't strong enough to be able to handle it, so they get usually a lot of tendon problems or a lot of hamstring problems because their body, their posterior chain isn't strong enough. Moving away from that, what we want to focus on is a mixture of two. This max strength group, the ones who got actually stronger, this red dotted line at the top, that max strength group, who were just doing pure squat, bench, deadlifts, heavy lifting, moving kind of slow, they weren't doing the weightlifting movements like snatch or para cleans. They here at the top of the line, that's where they got stronger, physically stronger. So pushing someone off the ball, they were stronger at that. So take your typical cornerback in the GA pitch or your fullback, they're physically stronger throwing the body weight around. We want to mix the two. That's where we want to get the athlete, make sure they're doing some kind of weightlifting moving like a clean, but also if they're doing heavy squats, they're following that with some kind of counter movement jump. So if we take a line, we draw a new purple line here, we look at long-term effects. We want the athlete to be as strong as possible and always getting stronger so that they don't suffer the likelihood of injury as much as the next person. You will always get injuries due to lack of recovery, stress management, whatever it is, psychology. There's always that element to deal with, but us as strength coaches, we want to make sure that you're getting your optimal performance on the pitch and always getting stronger while still maintaining that speed, that snappiness. How to balance it? Just take your squats. If you do perform a set of squats for 3 reps, make sure you know that your strength coach knows how to program this correctly. Then you're weighting roughly 20-to-1 ratio of rest. to then perform a max set of counter movement jumps, tuck jumps, or reactive jumps, whatever they are. But they can't be going from a stationary position then to down, pause, and up. You want to usually have that reactive phase. Maybe doing drop jump is usually a better option. Take a drop jump off a 12-inch box, react up off the ground as fast as possible, and get as high as possible. You want to mixture that, so a heavy set of squats into heavy 2 or 3 fast, explosive jumps. When you're doing that as well, you want to make sure that you're programming wise at least twice a week for 1 hour a week. What you will find is that as you get a bit stronger and as you plateau, like a distance runner, you need to add a little bit more volume. How to do it? You need to be smart about this as well. Usually 2 or 3 days a week is absolutely loads, but if your coach is a good coach and they can program this correctly, you will always make good improvements. But takeaway point from this video is do your strength training, do it with absolutely perfect technique. If you're not, and I can't emphasize this enough, you're not loading the correct muscles to then apply force when it comes to the field of play. Doing cleans with a rounded back is not okay, and doing poor snatches and trying to max the lift for the athlete is not okay if they're not doing it with corrective technique, because then on the other side of things, you get injured, you get a chronic injury, and then you can't return to the field of play in as quick as time as possible, or it inhibits you later life. So be smart with your technique, apply these techniques, understand them, apply them, and make sure your coach is leading you down the right direction, which I'm sure they are.